10. Harsh realities of being 75 years old that no one truly prepares you for. Hello, my name is George. I'm 75 years old. Before I begin, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not here to complain about my life. I'm not here to make anyone feel sorry for me, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I've lived a long life, and I'm grateful for it. I've had opportunities, love, mistakes, successes, and failures. I've seen the world change, and I've changed along with it. But I believe there is value in honesty, especially honesty that comes from someone who has already walked the road, others are still traveling. Aging is often talked about in soft, comforting ways. People mention wisdom, freedom, and rest. They talk about retirement as if it's the finish line, where everything suddenly becomes peaceful and simple. The truth is more complicated than that. There is beauty in aging, yes. There is also loss, fear, adjustment, and quiet struggle. And those parts don't get talked about enough. So today, I want to talk about them calmly, slowly, honestly. If you are younger, this may help you prepare. If you are older, this may help you feel less alone. And if you are somewhere in between, this may help you look at time differently. These are the harsh realities of being 75 years old. Reality number 1. Time stops feeling abstract and starts feeling personal. When you're young, time feels theoretical. You know, logically, that life ends someday, but it doesn't feel real. It feels distant, like something that happens to other people. You assume there will always be more time to fix mistakes, repair relationships, or chase dreams you put off. At 75, time stops being an idea and starts being something you feel every single day. You wake up with a quiet awareness that you are living in the later chapters of your life. You don't necessarily think about death all the time, but you are aware of limits. Birthdays feel heavier, years feel shorter, holidays pass faster than they used to. The future no longer stretches endlessly in front of you. Instead, it feels narrower. You stop thinking in decades and start thinking in years, sometimes even months. You don't assume you'll still be here in 10 or 15 years. You hope you will be, but you don't assume it. And that subtle shift changes everything. You notice how often a thought appears in your mind. This might be the last time, the last long trip, the last time everyone is together, the last time you visit a certain place, the last time you see someone you love. That realization can be uncomfortable. It can feel heavy, even frightening. But it also brings clarity. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop postponing joy. You stop holding on to grudges that no longer serve you. At 75, time becomes precious because you finally understand its value. Reality number 2, your body becomes something you have to negotiate with. When you are young, your body feels automatic. You don't think much about it. You wake up, move through the day, push yourself when needed, and recover without much effort. At 75, your body is no longer automatic. It requires attention. Every movement comes with awareness. You don't just stand up anymore. You stand up carefully. You don't just sit down. You make sure the chair is stable. You don't rush out of bed in the morning. You sit first. You wait. You let the dizziness pass. Pain becomes familiar. Not always severe, but constant. Your knees ache. Your back complains. Your hands feel stiff in the morning. You learn the difference between good days and bad days. And you learn not to waste the good ones. Energy is no longer guaranteed. Some days, you wake up feeling fine. Other days, you feel tired before noon. And there is no clear reason why. You listen to your body now, not because you want to, but because you must. Pushing through pain is no longer admirable. It's dangerous. Reality number 3, your world quietly shrinks. This is something most people never warn you about. At 75, your world doesn't collapse. It slowly gets smaller. You drive less, sometimes because of eyesight, sometimes because of confidence, sometimes because the traffic just feels overwhelming now. You stop going out at night. You avoid bad weather. You plan carefully. Every outing requires thought. Where can I sit? How far is the walk? What if I get tired? Friends move away. Some pass away. Others stop calling, not out of cruelty, but because life pulls them elsewhere. Your social circle becomes smaller and quieter. Loneliness can sneak up on you, even if you're not alone. Reality number 4, your mind feels different. You still know who you are. You still recognize people. You still remember your life. But your mind works more slowly. Names disappear. Words hide. Thoughts take longer to form. You pause mid-sentence and search your memory. Sometimes it comes back. Sometimes it doesn't. And that can be frightening. You've seen what cognitive decline looks like. You've watched others lose pieces of themselves. So every forgotten word feels personal. You start compensating. You write things down. You stick to routines. You double-check everything. Not because you're incapable, but because you're cautious. Reality number 5, grief becomes a companion. At 75, you carry a lot of names in your heart. Friends from work, neighbors, siblings, sometimes even children. Grief doesn't leave. It settles. It becomes quieter, but deeper. You don't cry every day, but reminders are everywhere. A song, a smell, an old photograph. And suddenly, you are remembering a conversation that will never happen again. Reality number 6, love becomes more fragile and more precious. If you have a partner at 75, you know something that younger couples do not. Nothing is guaranteed. Every goodbye carries a question. Every illness feels heavier. You argue less. You forgive faster. You hold hands longer. Because love at this age is no longer about building a future. It's about protecting the present. Reality number 7, you begin letting go of who you used to be. This one is quiet. It doesn't arrive suddenly. It happens slowly, almost gently. At 75, you are still yourself. But you are no longer the version of yourself you carried for most of your life. You are no longer defined by your job. You are no longer defined by your productivity. You are no longer defined by how much you can do in a single day. At first, this feels like loss. You remember the strength you had, the energy, the confidence that came from capability. You remember being needed, being relied on, being the one who fixed things and solved problems. Letting go of that identity is not easy. It can feel like you are disappearing. But something else happens too. You begin to see yourself as a human being, not a human doing. You realize that your value was never in your output. It was always in your presence. Reality number 8. You think about death more calmly than you ever expected. When you're younger, death feels dramatic, loud, terrifying. At 75, death feels quieter. Still serious, still sad, but no longer shocking. You've seen enough of life to understand that everything has an ending. You don't obsess over it, but you don't deny it either. You think about practical things: wills, instructions, preferences, not because you are giving up, but because you care. You want to make things easier for the people you love. You want clarity. You want peace. There is something strangely comforting about accepting what cannot be controlled. Reality number 9. You care far less about what others think. This is one of the gifts of age. At 75, you are tired of pretending. You've spent decades meeting expectations, playing roles, trying to fit into systems that never truly fit you. Now, you value honesty over approval. You speak more plainly. You say no more often. You stop apologizing for taking up space. If someone misunderstands you, you let it go. If someone disagrees, you don't argue as much. Peace becomes more important than being right. Reality number 10. You finally understand what truly matters. After 75 years, life strips itself down. The noise fades. The pressure fades. The competition fades. What remains is simple. People, moments, kindness, time well spent. You realize that most of the things you worried about never mattered. The money, the status, the opinions. What mattered were the quiet moments, the conversations, the laughter, the love you gave and received. Final thoughts. If you are younger and listening to this, please don't rush your life. Don't trade your health for money. Don't trade your relationships for pride. And don't assume the time will wait. If you are older and listening, know this: you are not invisible. Your life mattered, and it still does. Even now, my name is George. I am 75 years old. Thank you for listening to my story.